Hi, my name is Josh, and I'm a watchaholic. Welcome to Horology Insanity. What is up, my watch friends? So, check this out. Well, I've got a Hamilton box in the background. That will make sense in a moment. But I want to start out by looking at this awesome Zelos. This is the titanium 42 millimeter, and it is the Calypso orange variant. And if I can get it to kind of shimmer in the light a little bit here, it's called that because the warning track on the dive bezel is orange. But this video is not a review. It's not a comparison, really. It is a storytime video, and I just want to talk about my hobby a little bit and one of the awesome opportunities that I had in this hobby to both help a friend, get to experience several different watches that I otherwise may not get to touch, and just all around create what I think is going to be a win-win-win type of situation for several people. That's my goal. In fact, I think that should be everyone's goal in any deals that are ever made. There's this nonsensical notion that for something to be a good deal, it has to come at the sacrifice of someone else. And I think that is hogwash. I think that all truly good deals are ones that benefit everybody. They're win-win. So sometimes you got to think outside the box. Sometimes you got to get a little creative. And that's what I did in this situation. But let me just kind of run you through what happened. I have a buddy of mine. My buddy's name is Anthony, and Anthony had this Zelos watch. He enjoyed this Zelos watch. I don't know if he got it new or used. It definitely has some wear marks on it though, so it has been shown some love, and that is really, really cool. Now, he has a pretty good collection, like most of us watch addicts do, right? So he's got a great collection. He's got several different watches, but this watch was one that he had come across but was willing to part with. We all have that, right? I mean, I think that's a pretty common thing for most of us to be able to keep experiencing more watches. Well, I mean, if you're like me, you say you're going to sell some and then you buy more and then you never sell your other ones, or it's like twisting. I got to twist my own arm to sell watches. So anyway, Anthony had this watch. However, he was willing to part with it. And he was on the hunt for this watch. Hamilton Khaki King, I believe it is. Hence, that's the Hamilton box in the background. Here is the hang tag for that, if I can even get that. So this is the reference number for this beautiful Hamilton. But Anthony had just pinged me because he knows that I have a huge collection. And he goes, hey, do you by chance have this Hamilton? He also knows that I'm a Zelos addict. And so he said, well, I am hoping to trade this Zelos titanium Calypso for this Hamilton Khaki King. Now, I am not really familiar with current market values for either one of these watches, but he said they're similar and I trust his judgment. And so I said, no, I don't have one of those Hamiltons. I have a couple other Hamiltons. And in fact, if you want to check back in the next video, I'm not going to do a review on this because there's a billion of them out there. I am going to do a brief comparison with this and my other Hamiltons, almost kind of like a state of the collection Hamilton edition, but it'll be showing this one before I send it on to Anthony. But basically, even though I didn't have this Hamilton to be able to trade him, I said, well, I think I know a guy selling the Hamilton that you want, so let me reach out to him on your behalf. Now, Anthony is not in the Discord group where the Hamilton was being sold. And so I just pinged again another buddy. His name is Andrew. Andrew had this beautiful Hamilton. This thing is minty fresh, y'all. It's technically used, but it looks like he has OCD, maybe like I do, because this thing is so minty fresh. I mean, the stickers are back on it now. I don't know if they've always lived on it or not, but this thing, there's not a scratch, not a mark. If you didn't know any better, you would think this was a brand new watch from an AD. It comes with the hang tag, box, papers, whole 9 yards. This thing is immaculate. I can't tell you how impressed I was. And so when I saw this, I said, well, let me reach out to Andrew. Now, Andrew also was really cool about the sale. He also has a not quite as minty, but very good condition Hamilton bracelet. And he was willing to sell all of this in a package. And I said, well, yeah, I like the idea of having the bracelet along with it. Now, this is the one that came on the leather strap originally. And so this is an OEM Hamilton bracelet. And so he went that route, getting the both of those. And I thought that was really cool, but he did include that in the sale. So here's how it went down. I reached out to Andrew and I said, hey, Andrew, I got a buddy of mine looking for this Hamilton. Are you still selling yours? And he was like, yeah, I am. And so I was like, great. Would you by chance be interested in a trade for a Zelos titanium swordfish? And like a lot of people selling watches, he was like, nah, sorry, I'm not really interested in a trade. I'm just trying to do a straight sale. And I said, okay, no problem at all. Now, I reached back out to my buddy Anthony. I got the price and everything like that, and it was a very fair, if not extremely low, kind of friends and family kind of pricing. And I said, hey, Anthony, he's not looking to trade, but do you want to buy it outright? And I don't think he had the funds available in his watch budget to swing that right off the bat. And I don't know that he wanted to wait to try to sell this before getting this Hamilton. And so I do have that amount of money available in my watch budget. And so I said, all right, how about this? Because I would love to be able to see these watches, right? I've never seen either of these watches before. And so here's where we get into the win-win-win. Not just a win-win, but a win-win-win. I floated the deal. Basically, I bought this watch from Andrew. So he got the first win because he sold the watch that he wanted to sell. Win-win for me. The second win is for me because I now get to experience both of these watches that I otherwise would not have been able to experience. And then win-win for Anthony because I traded him the Zelos for the Hamilton. And so this is technically now in my collection, even though I'm going to flip it, but I'm basically going to try to sell this just for the amount that I can recoup my money for this, as if Anthony was able to trade directly with Andrew to swap these out. And I think that that's going to work out really well. I was pinging with my buddy Anthony the other day, and I told him once I got this Hamilton in, I think he's going to be really happy with the trade. Y'all know that I love Zelos. I adore Zelos. However, this Hamilton, when I put these side by side, I mean, except from the fact that this is titanium, which gives it a little bit of a leg up, but I think in almost every way, this Hamilton might be a better watch for the price, especially because this one came full box, papers, everything, mint as you can get, with both this OEM leather Hamilton strap and with the OEM Hamilton bracelet. So that's a cool thing in my opinion. Now, the Zelos did come with a box. It came with all the links. It did not come with the pouch and some of the other stuff. And the condition of this, well, we'll just call it well loved. And it's titanium too, so it scratches up a lot easier than steel and some other things. But yeah, this thing, well loved. So however, there's a pro about this. Here's what I've learned about watches that have been well loved. I can wear them and my OCD doesn't care in the least bit if I do anything to it. And that's a pro in my opinion. I actually think, because everybody talks about the worst scratch is the first one, right? You get that first scratch on your watch, and Anthony may have to go through that with this because this Hamilton doesn't have a scratch on it. So he's going to have that anxiety, if you want to call it that, the first watch scratch anxiety. So yeah, so I'm probably going to sell this Calypso, but I just wanted to share that story. And I say all of that now to ask down in the comment section, please let me know, when you are churning watches, flipping watches, etc., when you're hunting down watches, etc., do you like to trade? The trading idea, to me, I've never loved it. I've never loved trading watches. I'm in the midst of 2 potential trades right now. One with what I would consider a friend, great guy. I talked to him quite a bit. I trust him. We're trying to see if we can work out a win-win there. And then I've got another guy who I don't really know, but he's got a watch that I wouldn't mind having, but I don't have in my collection anything that he's really interested in. So I'm trying to see if I can track down something like I did here with Anthony so that it can become a win-win. But I'm going to be honest with you. This one, between this Calypso Zelos and this Hamilton, was an easy one because I kind of knew, like, Andrew had this ready to go. This was an easy trade by most standards because I kind of just had to put the pieces together, and it wasn't that hard to do. You use PayPal, both people send me the watch, and then I just kind of swap them around and send whatever back to whoever else. Now, I will say Anthony was really cool about also letting me borrow this teal Zelos black tip. And so I have the red Zelos black tip, but I have always wanted to see this teal one because I have a ton of other teal Zelos. I've done whole other videos about just comparing teal to this. And like with that solstice, I think it was. No, Relio. Yeah, the Relio solstice. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, yeah, I like teal. So Anthony, when he sent me the Calypso, he was like, well, hey, here, I'll just throw in the teal so that I can experience it. And so I'll have another video on this, probably comparing it to my crimson one and maybe comparing it to some other teal ones. But again, win-win-win, right? Because Anthony was also then willing to borrow that. And now Anthony's going to end up with this minty fresh Hamilton. Like, I think this worked out. But do you like making trades? I tend to find them to be more tedious and convoluted than if I just buy and sell stuff. Now, I think that a lot of folks maybe trade because if they can find a mutually agreeable solution or something that they're looking for, and if they don't have the extra funds in their budget, that might be why. I think some people maybe do it because that would be easier for them, and it wouldn't require them to like sell this and wait for that to then be able to hunt for the next one. And so I think that if you can trade, that would speed that whole process up. And I think that's what it's going to do here for Anthony. And in that regard, I think it's going to be a good thing. Do you like trades? Put it down in the comment section. I see people all the time mentioning trades, and I don't know whatever comes of them. Like I said, I'm working 2 out right now, and even on the best of circumstances, you know, it's still not as simple as just buying and selling a watch. At least that for me. So anyway, but let me know, what do you think? Do you like trades? How have you found to make trades easier, you know, simpler? I think that I have such a huge collection that when people say, oh, what do you have available for trade? I'm like, well, I got like 400 some odd watches sitting here. I'm probably willing to trade 300 more of them. You know, like I probably only have 50 to 100 that are true keepers. Right. And so at that rate, it's like, how do I keep a list of that or send somebody that without overwhelming them? I sent it to my buddy Will, and he was like, that was totally overwhelming, dude. When he said, what do you got available? I was like, a lot. So anyway, so with that, we'll call this one to a wraps. Anthony, I hope this works out well. I hope that you love this Hamilton because this thing is so sweet. It really is a fantastic watch. But with that, please remember what really matters. And that's not the watches, but it is seeing when you can make a win-win-win happen for your friends that may involve watches. That I think is all right. Keep the insanity sane.